Hey there, friends and enemies. Joper here again, and today I want to talk about the characters coming to Genshin Impact 3.0 and 3.1 and why I absolutely am going to be wishing for Tighnari. Now, I know a lot of people are hesitant to pull on this banner. We've got a lot of dope characters coming here shortly. We've got confirmation that Sino, Candice, and Nailu are coming in Genshin Impact 3.1. We know the Dendro Archon is coming in a couple patches at some point. And I know a lot of people are just hesitant. They want to save their Primo Gems. But I wanted to kind of go over all the reasons that I'm personally going to be wishing for Tighnari. And it all starts with Dendro. I want to play around with a Dendro character who does really well. And Tighnari is the best option at that and going to be for a couple patches. If you don't get a good Dendro character, you won't be able to really play around with Dendro until 3.2 at the earliest. So that's a major part of my reasoning. Candice, Nailu, and Sino, they all look like really dope characters. I'm excited about them. I have thought about whether I'm going to wish for them or not, but probably not because they have the same elements of characters I already have. And characters, I have a bunch of the same elements. I have max constellations on almost all the 4 stars that came before. I have a bunch of 5 stars, whether it's Electro or Hydro, and I don't really need them in my teams. Whereas Dendro will allow me to play the game differently and maybe build out new teams that I haven't been able to use before, and maybe use characters that I haven't been able to use before. So that's really a main reason. If I don't get Tighnari, say I lose my 50-50, say I put in a bunch of wishes and I don't guaranteed get them, I'll be getting constellations for Kali as well. And she is a character that you'll get for free, but as a 4-star character, she is going to need constellations to be really good. So either way, that's why I'm really excited about wishing on this first banner. I don't really care about Dory personally. That's not a character that I'm going to be wishing on. Again, I have a lot of Electro characters that I use quite often, so that's not a priority for me personally. Kali and Tighnari are the 2 characters that I am most excited about, even though I like the design of Sino a lot, and I think if I get a chance, I might wish for him. Don't forget that 2.1 is going to bring the anniversary event as well. You're going to get lots of Primo Gems, lots of free wishes. You're also going to get a ton of Primo Gems just from exploring Sumeru as well. So there's going to be no real shortage. So I feel like I'm going to be able to pull for Tighnari as well as go for whatever character is released in 2.2 as well. And that's also, I'm a Battle Pass player, so it's helpful that I'll probably get Primo Gems from that as well. And also, if you're a whale, you know that the your wishes are probably going to be reset, so you can buy more of the gems. Ultimately, I'm excited about Kali. I'm excited about Tighnari. I really want to see how Dendro interacts with the other characters, and I feel like this is going to be a really good chance to do something brand new that we haven't gotten in quite some time, and that's why I'm pulling for these characters. Another factor, I know Tighnari is going into the main banner once the 3.1 update hits, and that is a factor. I know a lot of people are thinking about that. However, to me, that doesn't matter. There's no guarantee you'll ever get him in that banner, or we'll get him for years and years. I know it took me to get all of the characters in that other banner, I feel like, or that don't come around with their own banner. It took me almost until this past patch, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, that it almost took me 2 years to get all of them. Sometimes you'll get multiple constellations of some. Like I have C2 Kaching, and I obviously had to get her straight from just losing 50-50s and whatnot. So you never know how that's going to work out. The other thing to consider with that, though, is that Tighnari is never going to come around with his own banner again. So that means that we are going to, unfortunately, have no way to actually pull for him individually. So if he becomes a meta character, if he becomes a character that is fantastic, like we've seen with Ganyu, like we've seen with a character like Kazuha, that's a perfect example of a character everyone said not to wish for, and then all of a sudden he became meta. And now imagine if his banner never came back around and you had to rely on the main uh, banner in order to, or losing 50/50s in order to possibly get a chance of getting them. That would be terrible. So for that reason, I feel like it's worth the risk to wish for Tighnari personally. And either way, I'll end up with a several constellation Kali at the very least. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What do you guys think of pulling for any of the characters going forward? Who are you most excited about? What characters are you locked into? Do you want Tighnari? Do you want Sino? Are you waiting for maybe Scaramouche in the future? Ultimately, it's gonna be personal preference. I think that's how you got to approach this game. You can beat everything in Genshin Impact with 4-star characters, so you don't need to pull for anyone. And I think anyone who claims that you have to pull for certain characters is not accurate. If you're a new player, if you're a player who is still on the rise, maybe you need to be more selective so you make sure you have the best team that you want. But ultimately, it comes down to playstyle and characters design, as well as characters that you end up personally falling in love with. That's what you should be wishing for. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It helps me out tremendously. I'm going to have loads more Genshin 3.0 content going forward. I'm excited about Sumeru and Dendro for sure. And you may well see me wishing for Tighnari on this channel sooner rather than later. Anyway, my name is Jopa. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all later.